Action.
Hi, Mr. Awadallah. This is Danielle Robertson from your biology class 165, section I-4. And today I'm going to be discussing with you the parts of the human skeleton in which you have requested for us to do. This is George. Say hey, George. As you can see, I disassembled George so that I can give you a better view of the bones I'm going to be talking about today. So they're all taken apart. And I'm going to be using highlighting markers just to show you a better view of what I'm going to be discussing with you. And here's the paper of the bones we're going to be talking about. And the pelvic girdle is on the back, just to show you that there are no pictures or anything else that I'm using to describe the bones you requested. Okay, first I'm going to start off with the humerus. This is the humerus bone, and I'm showing you an anterior view of the humerus bone. This is the head of the humerus here, and I'm color coding that orange for you, but this is the head of the humerus. Next, I'm going to color code for you the greater tubercle. This is the greater tubercle that I'm shading for you here in pink. Next, I'm going to color code for you the lesser tubercle, which is located here. This is the greater tubercle. Next, I'm going to show you the operculum fossa. Now, the operculum fossa is located on the posterior view. This is a better view of it. And I'm just going to highlight the operculum fossa here in green. This is the operculum fossa of the humerus bone. Next, I'm going to show you the medial epicondyle and the lateral epicondyle. This is the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and this is the medial epicondyle of the humerus. So again, this is the medial epicondyle of the humerus here that I'm drawing for you in orange, and this is the lateral epicondyle that I am color coding for you in the pink, and this is on the humerus. Next, I'm going to show you the trochlea, and the trochlea again is best viewed if I keep the humerus bone bent here, and here is the trochlea. Of the humerus bone here, shaded here in purple, a section of it anyway. Next, I'm going to show you the bones of the forearm, which are the radius and the ulna bones. Now, this is the radius, which is the shorter of the bone, and this is the ulna, which is the longest of the two bones. Again, this is the posterior view of the ulna. So I'm going to highlight for you in purple the radius head here in purple. This is a radius head here in purple. This is the radial styloid process. So this is the styloid process of the radius located here. And this is more of a lateral view, but this is the styloid process of the radius. Next, I'm going to show for you the ulna. This is the ulna bone. It's the longer of the two bones. Here is the opening. Here's the opening of the ulna bone. Here, I'm going to shade for you in green. It is also known as the elbow. And you can, of course, you can feel your elbow, but the term is opening here. And as you can see, the opening fits directly into the opening fossa of the humerus. So when you bend, That's where you get that bend from the elbow. Okay, so this is the opening of the ulna bone, located here. If we come down, we can locate the styloid process of the ulna, which I'm highlighting in green here. So again, this is the ulna bone. This is the styloid process of the ulna. This is the operculum of the ulna here, which is also the elbow. And again, this is the radius. And up top, we have the radius head here. And we have the styloid process of the radius here in pink, in which I've highlighted. And those are the bones of the humerus, ulna, and radius. Next, I'm going to show for you the bones of the hand. This here is the posterior view of the hand. And located here is the wrist, which is also known as the carpal bones. Now these carpal bones each have individual names. This first one here is the scaphoid bone. I'm going to color code it for you in pink, but this is the scaphoid bone here. And I kind of keep this in line because I know that it radiates with the thumb bone here. So that's how I remember this is the scaphoid. The next bone that I'm going to show for you is going to be the lunate bone. And that's the second bone located here, is the lunate bone. And that kind of falls in line with the middle finger here. So that's how I remember that. The tricutrium bone, I'm going to highlight for you in green, which is this bone here. Tricutrium bone. And that kind of falls in line with the ring finger. And maybe possibly too the pinky finger. But anyway, this is the tricutrium bone. And the pisiform bone is very tiny and is right here off to the side. Now this is definitely more in line with the pinky bone, but this is the pisiform bone here. And that's the pisiform bone. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you the next set of carpal bones. And this is better viewed from the anterior side of the hand. So the front side, the posterior side showed you the first set of bones, but the anterior side, palm up side, I can better show you the next 4 set of bones. So the first bone is the hamate bone. And that's this bone here with the projection coming off of it. I'm color coding it in green for you. But this is the hamate bone here. Okay? The next bone I'm going to show for you is the capitate bone. The capitate bone is this bone right here. This is the capitate bone. And the next bone is the trapezoid bone. Now the trapezoid bone is going to be this one right here. It kind of looks like a trapezoid. I kind of outlined it for you in red. But it's kind of like a trapezoid when you outline it out. Hence the name trapezoid bone. The next bone is going to be the trapezium bone. Now the trapezium bone, I kind of had difficulties trying to find that bone, but further looking at it, it is actually this bone here. And hopefully you can see this, but I'm highlighting it in orange. But this is the bone. And it falls in line with the first metacarpal, which is right here. So the trapezium bone is right above this first metacarpal bone. Next, I'm going to flip the hand back over to the posterior view and show you the metacarpals. These are the metacarpals located here. Metacarpal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And these here are the phalanges. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the phalanges. Now this would be the posterior end of it, the medial end, and then the distal end. Again, the posterior end, medial, and distal ends of the phalanges. Okay? And that is the hand. Next I'm going to show you the lower limb bones. So, we're going to start out with the femur. This big bone here is the femur. And this is the femur head located in here that I'm kind of coloring for you in green. This is the femur head. This is actually the neck of the femur that I'm color coding for you here in pink. Next I'm going to show you the greater trochanter. So the greater trochanter of the femur bone is located here. This is the greater trochanter located here. I'm coloring it for you in purple just so you can get an idea of what I'm pointing at. And the lesser trochanter bone is located here. This is the lesser trochanter here that I'm highlighting for you in blue. Now for me to best show you the next pair of bones, which is the medial condyle and the lateral condyle, I'm going to give you a posterior view of the femur bone. So looking at this bone, this is the medial condyle in green, and this is the lateral condyle here located in the purple. And those are the bones in the femur that you've access to name. The next set of bones I'm going to name for you is going to be the fibula and the tubular bones. The long, skinnier bone is the fibula bone, and the thicker, long bone is actually the tibia. Okay. Now that we have that, the anterior crest is located on the tibia, which is also known as the shin. What some people may call it is the shin. So this is the anterior crest of the tibia. This is the fibula bone located here. The smaller bone here is actually the patella or the kneecap, which, you know, what most people name it by is the kneecap, but for bone's sake it's the patella. The medial malleus is located here with the tibia. The medial malleus is located here, and the lateral medialis is located here on the fibula. Next, we have the ankle and foot, and this is a anterior view of the foot, but I'm going to turn it around to the back to show you the posterior view of the foot. Now this big bone here is the calcaneus, which I'm pointing at, okay? And the talus, you can't really see it that well, but this is part of the talus bone. If I were to remove the tibia, then you could see the talus better, okay? Now I'm going to turn it back around to the anterior view of it and show you the tarsal. These bones here are the tarsal bones, okay? These are the tarsal bones of the ankle. They're located here. And the metatarsals are located here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these bones are the phalanges. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And those are the bones of the ankle and the foot. The last bone I'm going to name for you is the pelvic girdle, okay? Now, this is the pelvic girdle, also known as the hip bones, okay? This is the iliac crest here, and here is the sacroiliac joint on both sides. The sacroiliac joint are located here. This is the ilium located here. Right around up in here is the ilium. This is the ilium on both sides, the ilium. The ischium is this bone here. This is the ischium on either side. And the ischial tuberosity is here. Okay? The acetabulum is located here. One on the right, and there's one on the left. It's also known as the ball and socket joint for where the head of the femur would go. The acetabulum here. And the obturator foramen are these holes here. The obturator foramen are these holes here. Well, thanks for listening to me, and I hope I got the names of it right. See you next time. Bye.